So today we're going to talk about a company called Grande Portage Resources Ltd. This company is a gold junior mining pre-production company in Vancouver, and it originally took our attention because of the high grade of gold, the project that they're pursuing in Alaska. So Grande Portage Resources Ltd. With the ticker GPG, Grande Portage Company, which is trading on TSX Venture and OTC market as well as in Europe, is a junior resource exploration pre-production gold mining company. And it's got one mineral exploration project called Herbert Gold Project, as we're seeing on the map, and it consists of 91 unpatented mining claims that covers approximately 1,881 acres. That's located at 32 kilometers up north of Juneau in Alaska. And they recently actually acquired 10 more claims at the beginning of August. So the gold project property consists of mesothermal quartz carbonate gold-based metal veins. So it's got three major veins, including deep trench, main, and gold veins extending from south to north. And it also got minor veins of Leak, Floyd, North, and Ridge. The May 12, 2021, last year's resource estimate that it represented an improvement both in terms of the quantity and the grade of the resource, 97% increase from an indicated gold perspective and 29% increase in the inferred category from their 2019 levels. So the flagship project is Herbert Project, and Herbert Project is they own Grande Portage hold 100% interest in Herbert Project, and the property is located in the 160 kilometer long Juneau mining district, which hosts over 200 gold deposits, and it's actually been producing nearly 7 million ounces of gold since the 1800s. The Kinzington mine, which is a producing mine, operates within the gold belt and is approximately 45 kilometers north of north of the Herbert property. Access to this property, of course, is in Alaska, is via helicopter from Juneau and the main public paved highway from Juneau to Brenner Bay that passes 5.5 kilometers west of the property, and it crosses the Herbert River. The Herbert property itself is 10 kilometers from power line, 10 kilometers from tidewater, and the primary access to Juneau district is via air or sea. But the fact that we need helicopter to access the property, to transfer the drills or the people, makes this project expensive relative to projects that you only need road access, and it's a cost factor for this exploration company. But there's always contingency in the cost calculations as well, so we can keep that in mind. Herbert Gold Project consists of, at present, three principal and parallel sets of east-northeast trending quartz veins, and the high-grade chute, which is actually what caught our attention, is the high-grade chutes along the veins is a unique characteristic of these organic projects and organic deposits, which has made the project attractive from the very beginning from further exploration perspective. 2022 fully funded drilling program is currently underway to test the main mineralized structures at depth beyond 500 meters, drilling the deeper portion, penetrating shallower structures, as well as testing the unexplored region. The drilling program started in July. No new information has been released yet, and it's going to go all the way up until November. So looking at the management and board of the company, 3 out of 4 board members are independent. The executive chairman of the board, Ian, is also the president, and Sion Klassen is also the president and CEO, and also non-independent member, of course. And members of the management team and board collectively hold 9.4% of the outstanding shares. We have Eric Spraud, the active investor in his company that he controls, through which he holds ownership in the junior mining space by 13.9% ownership of the outstanding shares. The public own 76.6% voting power, and the presence of strong-minded active investors such as Eric Spraud allows for constructive change during periods of crisis. The 9.4% insider ownership by the management and make them having skin in the game and incentivize management to think like owners and to the interest of the public investors. Overall, corporate governance at Grande Portage Resources is moderate. So Grande Portage is exploring for gold. So gold market and the outlook for gold market becomes quite important. Gold has bulls and bears cycles, And we believe that we're currently in a bull gold market. And the fact that we went through COVID and the COVID is finished now, we have high inflationary environment and there's recessionary risk, that makes a good investment opportunity for gold during periods of high unexpected inflation, because gold is a great hedge against unexpected inflation, and inflation is higher than expected. As we see on these graphs, there's correlation between gold price and the TIPS rate, the Treasury Inflated Protection TIPS rates, and of course the gold and the dollar, because when the dollar is strong, investors trade dollar, but when the dollar is weak, everybody goes for gold. And of course the money supply, the supply and demand of gold, and of course and the CPI index. And when we look at the distribution of gold, we can see that there are two peaks. One is around the 1300 and the other one is around 1700, given the fact that gold prices have been high over the last 3 years. So we applied a bimodal distribution to the gold prices for the purpose of the valuation, where we're looking at relative valuation of the shares of the company and calculating the equivalent gold grade and of course the contained metal in terms of gold equivalent. The prices, we use the distribution of the gold prices, and that allows us to have a more comprehensive and have more statistics around our valuation and the value that we're going to apply to the company. So from a valuation perspective, last but not least, and also the most important aspect of us looking at the company is evaluation. Grande Portage Resources is a pre-production gold mining company, gold as their primary metal, and as a result we looked at pre-revenue exploration and development gold mining companies and junior gold mining companies across Canada, and with properties and deposits with gold as their primary metal, and we calculated their enterprise value to resource, their gold equivalent grade, the rock value, as well as the contained metal across all of these mining companies. And as we're looking at Grande Portage Resources to see where it falls on this list, when we look at the distribution of the rock value, the contained metal, and the gold equivalent, we can see that from a contained metal perspective, Grande Portage is actually on the lower end of the spectrum, but when we're looking from a grade perspective, it has the second highest grade gold grade among all of the pre-revenue Canadian peers, which is a positive and a factor that attracted our attention and many investors' attention. And on the same note, if you look at the rock value and such a rock value, given the grade being the second highest grade among all explorers, the rock value is also the second highest among all of the peers, the Canadian pre-production gold pre-production pre-revenue companies and peers. From an EV over resource perspective, gold equivalent ounces of resource, we can see that at 23 EV over ounces of resource, this company is at the lower end of the range and way below the median value as we look at the values, the median values of these multiples across all of the peers. And as we see, we not only apply the Monte Carlo simulation giving the gold price of distribution as well as the percentage of inferred resources included in the calculations of resource distribution. Now that leads to a distribution of the Grande Portage Resources target price. It ranged anywhere from 42 cents to 47 cents, and the median enterprise value to ounces of gold equivalent resource stands at 28 times, while 28.5 or 28.6 times, while the company is trading at 23 times. So clearly, if we apply these metrics, taking out net debt and also the value of the options, when the warrants are out of the money, the actual options are in the money, we can come up with a 44 cents at a median price. So it ranges anywhere from 42 to 47, but the median expected value of the target price is 44 cents, which is above the 38 cents that the share was trading at the time that we did this valuation. The positive drill results is going to come out maybe later this year in November will certainly impact the valuation, because generally positive drill results is going to have an impact and the shares can trade up. So we will wait and see to see what would the 2022 drill program will have in the cards. If you want to read more about this company and the initiating coverage on this junior mining gold pre-revenue company, head on to www.modelyzeinvestment.com and you can hover over to the basic Modelyze tab and read these initiating coverage reports on these companies. Thank you.